Conservative new media viewers and boxing fans around the world, what's going on? It is myself, Paul F. Villarreal, PFE. We're here to talk about the fight that just ended about 30 minutes ago between Wladimir Klitschko and Alexander Povetkin. This fight took place in Moscow, Russia. It was for, I know, at least Vladimir's belt, and I believe Povetkin also had a belt, but I'd have to check on that. Now, I did not get to see this fight, but I know what happened in the fight, and this fight is showing tonight in the United States on HBO. So, if you don't want to hear the results of this fight, then stop watching the video right now. If you want to wait to watch it later and see it for yourself, then just stop the video right now, because I'm going to tell you what happened and how it happened and make some remarks after that. So this is your last chance. If you don't want to know what happened in this fight, stop watching the video. Okay, Wladimir Klitschko scored a unanimous decision victory over Alexander Povetkin in Povetkin's homeland of Russia. I am virtually certain Povetkin is from Russia. And this was an easy victory for Wladimir. On all three scorecards, he won 119 to 104. I believe Wladimir scored 4 official knockdowns in the fight, although according to at least one report, some of those knockdowns, or if not all of them, were questionable. In other words, they might have been pushes rather than clean punches. But Wladimir apparently controlled the fight, used his size, used the jab. There was a lot of clinching in this fight, apparently. Might not have been the prettiest fight to watch if you're a boxing fan. But since Wladimir began to work with Emanuel Stord, who has since passed away back in 2004, I think is when he started working with him, he basically went to a Lennox Lewis type of approach to fighting, which is to say, protect your chin. And that means you're going to see a lot of clinches. If Wladimir is not sure of a situation, or if he's thrown punches and wants to rest for a bit, he's going to clinch, which is something that Lennox Lewis did and did very effectively. So Wladimir's so big and so strong that if he wants to clinch with you, it's going to be very difficult to keep him from clinching. That's what apparently happened in this fight. It worked for him. He was able to control most of the fight. Apparently, Povetkin did throw some hard punches and really kind of let go, but he just wasn't able to do enough. He wasn't able to knock Wladimir down, apparently. He wasn't able to sting him or score enough points to be able to control this fight and get the scoring where he needed to get it to. Look, let's talk about the Klitschkos, okay? Talk both about Wladimir and his brother Vitaly. With the victory, Wladimir Klitschko improves to 61-3. And he has 51 knockouts in those 61 victories, and all 3 of his defeats are also by knockout. Vitaly Klitschko, Wladimir's older brother, is now 45-2 with 41 KOs, and both of his defeats were by stoppages, although they were because he was hurt. He got cut against Lennox Lewis, and I think he tore his rotator cuff against Chris Bird. That's why those fights were stopped, although Vitaly was ahead in both of those fights when they had to be stopped. So if you put those two records together of the two brothers, the total record is 106-5 with 92 KOs. The brothers have not lost. The last loss suffered by them was in 2004. That was Layman Brewster defeated Wladimir. Wladimir then went on to avenge that loss in time. So these guys haven't lost in 9 or more years. Vitaly's last loss was 10 years ago to Lennox Lewis. You're talking about a decade of total domination of the heavyweight division. Complete domination. I can't remember the exact number. I've actually gone through this before. Wladimir and Vitaly have fought between them. They fought maybe about, I don't know, like 95 to 100 different fighters between them. The only fighter they haven't beaten among that, whatever it is, 95 or 100 people, is Lennox Lewis. And that's because after Lennox Lewis defeated Vitaly, Lennox Lewis retired. They've beaten everybody else. So if somebody beat them, then one of the two afterwards beat that guy. Chris Bird beat Vitaly, then Wladimir beat him, maybe beat him twice. Lehman Brewster beat Vlad, well then Vlad beat him the next time they fought. I want to say Ross Purity, I believe was his name, beat Wladimir, and then Vitaly beat him. Corey Sanders beat Wladimir, and then Vitaly beat him. And so these guys have beaten everybody, except for Lennox Lewis. And again, I watched that fight back in 2003. Lennox Lewis, I think, in the ring after the fight, told Vitaly, if I remember correctly, that he would give him a rematch. Well, that never happened. Lennox Lewis decided to retire, and that's his decision. He's allowed to do that. But anybody that was out there for these guys to fight, they fought them and they beat them. And it's, you know, you don't have to like them. I know there's a lot of people in the U.S. that aren't really big on them. I like them just because they're excellent fighters. Vitaly's one of the most dominating fighters I've ever seen, ever. And I've watched a lot of boxing. I've seen Tyson when he was in his prime, seen a whole bunch of guys. Vitaly is one of the toughest, most dominating fighters I've ever seen, ever. What he was able to do against Lennox Lewis shocked me. And you got to give these guys their due. That they're both PhDs. They're smart. They're set for life. I have no idea how much Wladimir made for this fight against Povetkin, but I'm sure it's quite a bit of money. And give them their due. These guys are getting it done. There were a lot of people that wanted to see this fight and thought that Povetkin might be able to cause Wladimir some trouble. Well, you know, I'm sure he had his moments, but it's just, you know, another one bites the dust, basically. I don't know who's out there. Vitaly's not going to fight for much longer. I want to say he's like 41. Vlad is, what is he now, about 36, 37? These guys aren't going to be around for so much longer. Wladimir, I know, is getting close to breaking or coming close to setting or breaking records for heavyweight longevity in terms of how many title defenses, how long he's been the champion, this type of thing. He probably still has a way to go to get to where Joe Louis is, I would imagine, but he's climbing the ranks of heavyweight history. I would just say you got to enjoy these guys while they're here. They're not going to be here forever. I don't know who out there can beat them. There are some American heavyweights coming up. Of course, Chris Arreola, who was soundly defeated by Vitaly a few years ago. Deontay Wilder, I believe. Deontay has a lot of power. I don't think he's ready for Wladimir Klitschko. So I'm not sure who can challenge these guys right now. Vitaly, maybe Vitaly because he's older, but I don't think Vitaly's going to fight very much longer. Vlad still has enough strength, enough skill, and enough endurance where it's going to be very difficult to beat him. He hasn't faded enough to be able to beat him. You know, some champions, they're over the hill. You can get him at the right time. I don't think Vladimir's at that point yet. He might be in another 2 years or something, but he's not there right now, I don't think. And I just don't see anybody in the picture right now who's good enough to challenge him. Both of these guys have tremendous skill levels. incredible skill levels as fighters, and they're both incredible athletes. I mean, these are guys that are 6'6" plus. They can move. They've got good reflexes. They're quick. They're not easy to beat. And like I said, tip your cap to them. Another victory today. Another challenger falls. And like I said, it's a decade of domination. I like the Klitschkos. I've always liked them. I know John likes them. My brother, also here in conservative media. You have to respect them. Anybody that's this good and this dominant, you got to respect them, even if you don't like them. But we like them. I like them. They're great. They're great fighters. I think they're also promoting Gennady Golovkin right now, who is there. I can't remember where they were born at, but they were born close to Kazakhstan, which I believe is where Golovkin is from. So, there's probably some similarities there, or kind of, similarities in how they grew up, this type of thing. So with Golovkin, so it's great. That's the result. Again, if you're in the United States, I'm making this video at about 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, October 5th. You should be able to watch the fight later on tonight at HBO if you want to check it out. But that is the result. Wladimir Klitschko defends his championship belts with a unanimous decision, 119-104 victory on the scorecards, all three of them, over challenger Alexander Povetkin. That's it for now. Thanks for watching Conservative New Media. You can come and join our Facebook group if you'd like. We have over 2,500 members there and counting. Love to have you come and join that. You'll see information for the group in the video description below the video player. Once again, I am Paul F. Villarreal. Have a great night, great day, wherever you are around the world when you're watching this. I know it's very late, overnight in Moscow right now, maybe like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that, when this video is getting made. Great stuff. The Klitschkos still rule the heavyweight division, and I think that anybody that wants to take the throne is probably going to have to wait a few more years until they decide to move on, because right now it's all them. That's it for now. Talk to you later.